In this video, I'm going to talk through the details for your Excel summative project. The details are in this Word document. Many of them are repeated in the PowerPoint. The most important thing from the PowerPoint is going to be what I call the exemplars that are going to tell you give you some good and bad examples. And then you're going to be downloading this summary reflection, and that's going to be included in your project as well. So let's go ahead and just start with and also before I get started, there's additional resources listed here. There is a suggestion for visualization of data. The Unit D overview has charts video. Unit F overview page has tables, pivot tables, and Power Query built in. So those are all resources that you can utilize for this project. When you get your project all the way done, you're going to download the reflection questions, and you are going to add that and make it the first sheet in your workbook. So we are going to want you to answer these 5 questions. And so we want you to, what did you find interesting? Why did you choose it? What trends or information did you find? How did you sort and filter? Tell us a little bit about your process. What did you learn? Be very specific. Names of the sheet that contains your pivot table and pivot chart. What are the different functions you've used? And then 3 to 4 sentences explaining why you feel you've covered all the criteria. And we're going to be looking at the criteria in detail here. This is the Word document with the details. And so you're going to organize, analyze, and present data in a useful format for supporting decisions and processes. That's our goal. It is worth 100 points. Think of this as part of your final exam. We just aren't doing it during finals week. We're doing it early. And so you're basically showcasing everything and working on your employability skills with presentations. We've talked about the reflection questions that you will download and add. Here are the grading criteria. This is where I'm going to spend most of my time. You will have a workbook with multiple worksheets. You should include your original data set as one of your worksheets. So just like you did in your previous assignment where you had your original data set and then you copied that and then you started to work with the data, make sure that you do that with your project. You have shown evidence or ability to enhance the worksheet, and so we're going to be looking for a variety of formatting, that you've made good choices with color and fonts, highlighting the data, that you're able to create tables and charts, and again that you choose the appropriate table. There's some hints that I'm going to give you for that. That you formatted the legends and the axes, and that you have the ability to create a pivot table and pivot charts. We will be looking in terms of the formulas that you have created unique formulas on your own. If you've added a total row and it does all the sums for you, then that's not going to count. So you need to have absolute and relative references. You need to use a math function. So some examples would be these. And so it's not that you can't use a sum function, but just those that are automatic generated would not apply. So look for some different math functions that you can use. If you only have sum in your whole entire project, that's not going to be enough for a exemplary grade. Looking for the use of math functions. Now, I just talked about that. Use of logical tests, which would be your if, sum if, or if you've used an and or an or statement somewhere to do some conditionals. And then your lookups. VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP, or XLOOKUP. You don't have to use all 3. If you use one of those 3, then you are good. And you don't have to use the ones that are listed here. It's not like you have to use all of those. As long as we see evidence of you incorporating some type of a conditional formatting or logical tests, then that will be covered. And then you incorporate your date and time functions. You're going to submit one Excel workbook with the reflection as the first page, and your original data should be the last page. It's not listed on here, but that's what I would be looking for. We are going to step through the PowerPoint, which will repeat a little bit of this information, but the PowerPoint is going to have exemplars, which means good examples and some bad examples of some of your project materials. And so we've already gone through much of this information, pulling through the different sites. You did that last week. You are in week 2 right now, or part 2, and then part 3 is to finish the project. So I would target to get 40 to 50% of your project done. We've already talked about the details and the reflection, and then here's going to be some examples. This is an example of a decent chart from a pivot table. It's got colors and it's got a legend. It's got the axes labeled, and they've done some formatting to make things pop a little bit. And so this is an example of one that would be better. This was another good example. I have taken out the specific details in case you wanted to use this topic. And so this topic, they showed all the different categories. They added a nice graphic related to the topic. And I have purposefully, like I said, not included the titles and things that they did. They had a summary of data here. And so adding that text box for a summary of data is cool. This one was an interactive sheet, so they created it so that you could use the drop downs here in order to pull off that data. This one used the graduated bars over here to show the emphasis between these different categories. And the categories they had were very specifically labeled. I made them generic just for this example in case you want to do the same data set. I think this one might have been some type of a cancer research, so they had whatever cancer it was up here as a title, and etc. But the data bars was nice to demonstrate the trends, and they didn't have too much data. So that's going to be one thing that you're going to find is you want to remove some of the data and only focus in on a smaller subset. So these examples are okay, but they need some improvement. So this one, they had a table, a lookup table, and then you could use the data over here to look at different criteria. They did have them labeled appropriately. But what would be an improvement is adding a summary text box to this page in order to summarize the data. This one was, I really like the idea of using a map, but they blew it on the fact that they didn't literally label what the categories were from 4 to 968. So I don't know what it was. There should have been some kind of a title here. This one was really nice in terms of well-labeled tabs, and they used the white font for contrast, but they didn't have a consistent color theme. And so depending on your project, this might be okay, but a lot of times we're looking for a little bit more consistency. This one does show the original data on the far right. And so that would be a recommendation. Make sure that you copy your original data, put it on the far right. Reflection hints. So this is going to be some examples of do's and don'ts for your reflections. And so this one is an exemplary reflection response. I'm not going to talk through it all, but you can come back to this when you're starting to do your reflection and say, okay, what would make a good reflection? Here is an example. And so they bulleted it, which is fine. But they were very specific about how they used their pivot table, what they did for a total function, how they used data bars, etc. And so it was specific references to the data, and I used just XXX in order to make this generic in case you wanted to use the data set that they were using. So this is a good example for a reflection. The next few slides are going to be things that are like, they need improvement. So this one is a bad example. There's actually too much data. There's several data bars. You can't even differentiate what the different bars represented. So there's too much here. This one, like the idea, but if you notice, there's 12 months over here, and you can't even see half of the months. So that's really bad. Can't tell anything from this chart. So I like the colors. I like the contrast with the dark, but I can't tell a darn thing from the data presented. This one was not, so I like the idea that this one had these pull-out charts over here. But if we take a look at it, it says consider the design and the colors. And so even though bright colors are kind of nice, this one just didn't really help pull the data as well as it should have. And so be careful of the colors that you use. And reds and greens, just FYI, kind of get lost in terms of like color blindness, and so keep that in mind. The other thing is there was no like summary, no summary or text box that indicated the summary. So on your reflection, here's an example of what would not be a good reflection. So the question was, what trends of information did you find? What did you learn? How might this be useful? Their answer was, I was surprised to not find a linear correlation between sales and review score, period. Like, that doesn't tell me that you really dug in. It doesn't tell me what you learned. It doesn't tell me how it would be useful to a business. So that reflection needs some work. Here's another reflection response that needs some work. It says, explain why you feel you've covered all the grading criteria. And this one says, I believe I have encompassed 2 different ways to depict the data in a user-friendly format. That does not specify how they are hitting those grading criteria. It's vague. You should explain or address in detail all the grading criteria and how you met them. But again, not making it an entire essay. So if I go back to the good example, this one tells, it's illustrating how have you covered all the grading criteria. This one is a exemplary response versus this one, which says, I believe I've encompassed. Like, I don't have enough details to even judge that. All right, the last slide here is some additional resources. Those are actually the ones that are listed on your activities page at the beginning of the chapter. So they are those resources here. I have added one more thing that I will show you, and that is I used Claude AI to generate a do's and don'ts based upon our project criteria, and I just asked for a top 10 list. And so they actually, what I really like here is it kind of says common mistakes is using your pie chart incorrectly. Common mistake, yellow text on white backgrounds, light gray on white, or neon colors that strain the eyes. And so it gives you some very specific do's and don'ts. The do's are also good. I'm just highlighting the don'ts right now. The other thing it does is, how do you know what chart to use when? Here's a little kind of quick summary for what kind of chart is best for what kind of data. And then a final checklist that you can use right here. And just, all sheets have descriptive names, colors are good contrast, and so this is a really good checklist. All right, that's your detailed video on the Excel Summative project. Good luck with that this next couple of weeks, and have fun. I really enjoy grading these, so I'm looking forward to it.